even though the results haven't been there, I think we've been on the right path. So it would be, I don't think it would be smart to just say, oh, we have this master plan now after a bye week that we're going to change everything and start over. I think that would defeat the purpose of trusting the process. And I think Coach does that better than anyone I've been around, of just trusting the process, knowing that we're getting better. We haven't gotten the results, but we're going to stick with the process. And, yeah, there's always little tweaks and changes, and especially after a bye week, hey, what are we good at? What are we not good at? What do we need to work on? What do we need to emphasize? And I think we're going to continue to do that.
Both the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans are fresh off of their Week 7 byes, now ready to rock here at Bank of America Stadium on a clear Carolina day. And despite the records, it's one of the most anticipated matchups this season, with dueling rookie quarterbacks Bryce Young, still looking for his first career NFL win, and C.J. Stroud, who has been playing at the top of his game, already notching 3 wins, a front runner for NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Stroud has thrown 9 touchdowns and is approaching 1,700 passing yards with 7.8 yards per attempt. And Bryce Young is continuing to make significant improvements and has had 0 interceptions in 3 of the last 4 games, but has passed for less than 1,000 yards and is only averaging 5.7 yards per attempt. He also only has 1 multi-touchdown game this year, but the Texans' defense has a soft spot for an offense that looks a lot like what the Carolina Panthers have been serving up. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Carolina Pro Football Report on ADSN1.com and 730 The Game. I'm Kevin Tolbert, back here at Bank of America Stadium for some Week 8 action and some good news out of the Carolina Panthers camp after the bye, where they got to do some self-scouting, some reevaluating, some tweaks to the scheme. Thomas Brown will now be the active play caller for the game, per Frank Reich's new order. Thomas Brown has worked in collaboration with Frank Reich over the season to call plays, but now he will be the sole play caller for today's action and moving forward.
There's no doubt from a live situation of Thomas calling the plays that he's ready. We did get to work in preseason. Really all year long in practice, he and I have been alternating calling the plays in. I would say I'll probably contribute a few places. I don't anticipate having to contribute a lot more situate. I think the normal third down and red zone stuff, I'm good with Thomas calling that. There might be, fourth down situations that, whether we're going for it, not going for it. Letting Thomas know, hey, when we're in 4-down territory, because that'll affect how we call that whole series, whether it may be first down, and I know we're in 4-down territory, so he's calling it. I'll interject those kind of thoughts. And then I'm not saying I wouldn't be an occasional play or two I wouldn't recommend along here or there, but probably a little bit more between series and stuff like that. But Thomas is ready. I'm confident, and he's ready to go and excited, and I think the players are excited for him as well.
Now, hopefully, with Thomas Brown taking over with the play calling duties, it'll equal a win today. It'll be the first win for the Carolina Panthers and their rookie quarterback, Bryce Young, who has yet to get in the win column this season. But no matter what the season has given the Panthers team, the locker room appears to remain locked in and ready for the next phase of the journey, including running back Chuba Hubbard, who did some self-scouting of his own during the bye.
No matter who's calling the plays, who's doing the signals, who's running the plays, whatever it is, I know we got the right guys, so, whoever's out there, whoever's doing it, I'm excited. The bye week, like you guys said, kind of gives everyone a chance to recoup and regroup and look at what went right this season, what went wrong, and then move forward from that. So it's kind of like taking a test and then, getting, all the answers you need and all the corrections and going back to work and taking a test again. So.
Now, some other good news for the Carolina Panthers this week. Austin Corbett has now been taken off the PUP list, and he is active for today's game. He will start at right guard today with Calvin Throckmorton starting in the left guard position. So some great news there on the O-line for the protection of Bryce Young. So hopefully that will buy him more time to enhance all of the great work that he's been doing. So let's see if that works today. So on your offensive line, we have Ike Ekwonu at left tackle, Calvin Throckmorton at left guard, Bradley Bozeman at center, Austin Corbett for right guard, and right tackle Taylor Moton. Taylor Moton was limited in practice on Friday and is listed as questionable today. We'll keep you updated on the ADSN TV Twitter account, so be sure to check that to get your game time decisions on Taylor Moton and all the other questionable players for today's Panthers roster. Now, wide receiver Adam Thielen has been doing very well this season. 49 receptions for 509 reception yards this season, but he's the only one that has been doing that well. There's a big difference from Adam Thielen's performance down to the other wide receivers, and also a big difference down to what the tight end room has been able to produce this season. In particular, the guy that they brought in, Hayden Hurst, he was supposed to be more of a force, but I believe the maximum targets in a game that the tight ends have gotten this year in the Carolina Panthers in any game has been 8. So with this Texans defense being something more porous to the shorter underneath type of routes, hopefully we'll see more from the tight ends today. It'll be a great day for them to try to exploit the defense. So let's see what the tight ends have in store for us today. Hopefully also with the change, that'll usher in some more opportunities for those guys like Tommy Tremble. Now, Giovanni Ricci is on injured reserve, so we won't be able to see him today, but we will definitely possibly get a good glimpse of what the other tight ends in the room can produce this week. Now the run game for the Carolina Panthers, something that's still in flux, but Miles Sanders is back in the lineup this week, but probably looking at Chuba Hubbard getting more of the reps as Miles gets back up to speed. Don't really know what's going to go on there. We'll have to wait and see, but definitely expect Chuba Hubbard to carry, still have a big load to carry today. Switching over to the defense, Von Bell was ruled out on Friday, and still Shaq Thompson, J.C. Horn, Eder Gross, Matos, as well as Marquise Haynes Sr. Those guys are still on IR right now, so they don't factor into the equation right now, which is really hurting the defensive side of the ball for the Carolina Panthers. So some very significant damage there. But some good news with Xavier Woods fully participating in practice on Friday. And as I mentioned before, he was listed as questionable, but we will provide some game time updates on ADSN TV Twitter account for that as well. Also, Brian Burns did not participate in practice on Friday, and he's also listed as questionable for today's matchup. So a lot of damage on the defensive side of the ball for the Carolina Panthers. Another Carolina Panthers defensive starter that is questionable for today. Well, he was listed as questionable on Friday, but he declared that he would be playing linebacker Frankie Luvu. Now, we sat down this week to talk about Frankie Luvu, about his journey to the NFL and what's going on this season with the Carolina Panthers. Let's take a look.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome everybody. I'm Colin Cole, joined with the Panthers leading tackler, one of the best to do it in the business right now, Mr. Frankie Luvu. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Appreciate having me.
Man, let me ask you a question. So I started off when I was young, man. I was probably about 5, 6 years old. My dad tells me this story. I came to him one day and I told him, man, Dad, I know what I want to do when I grow up. I want to play football. When did you know you wanted to play football?
I'll say when I was in 8th grade, I grew up playing soccer my whole life. All my siblings, all 8 of us. I'm the youngest out of 8. We grew up playing soccer, and the footwork and everything kind of got down. So I felt like that Pop Warner when we started. It was the first time inside more. We had Pop Warner football. Starting point of me playing football, man. I was just too big for soccer, kind of bullying people at that point. And then, man, just played football from that on, and man, I just knew like this was for me. But also was a dream for me because it was kind of like a getaway off the island to help my family and provide for them.
This is out of Washington State, leaving American Samoa. Talked about that a little bit. But you came to this league undrafted. Like a man like myself, undrafted free agent, you kind of have to prove yourself,
Right.
prove your worth. Got an opportunity with the New York Jets. Obviously, that didn't go the way that you were planning, but you've made it to this point where you're here with the Panthers, and the Panthers execs are talking hugely about you.
Man, it took me to like my sophomore year in college. Go back here, Mike and Will, my sophomore year in college. And then, man, I was just kind of like that hybrid dude. So in that fall camp, going into my junior year, that's when I kind of popped from outside backer to inside backer, kind of used me around. And I found my edge, and I was an edge guy. And I was this guy always going forward, you know, love contact, kind of starting the line of scrimmage, you know, and then made my transition over to Kevin Green. I talked about it a lot as far as like my process in the league, starting in the league, because he gave me the opportunity after 32 teams, you know, after the draft, didn't get a call, but then Kevin Green gave me a call. So yeah, I went to the New York Jets my first year, went on his road. I don't think a lot of people know about this story, but he kind of, right before training camp, he went up on the board, he wrote 5 names. And then I had to, pretty much out of the 9 of us outside backers, he put 5 names, and the last name he put on that 5th, on the 5th, that was my name. He said, I don't know how you're gonna do it, but this is my list I'm taking in the season. So your film habits, so a lot of those, man, I feel like I harped it down to the team, man. So, and making that transition even to today, man, having Coach Dom Capers on our staff, man, talking about when he was head coach here, coaching Kevin Green when he was here, and he sees that embodied in me of Kevin Green, man. So just surrounding myself around that and knowing that like undrafted, man, you know how it is, just proving people wrong, but also having that edge and just count me out and just see me on the top, you know. So
You kind of embody what this defense is about.
I mean, Coach E, a DC Coach E, man, he does a good job of breaking things down. And the whole staff pretty much breaks it down, man. They keep it simple for us, help us to play fast on Sundays, man. The little details of our work, man, I feel like that's a huge part of what
Over the year, played against guys like Dominic Raiola, a number of guys that have come out of that region. What does it mean for you coming from that region and some of the names that I just mentioned in terms of representing your country? What do you feel like it's like for you in your situation?
Man, I just feel like, man, we come from small islands and we come from big hearts, you know what I mean? Everything that you do, you start, you finish it. And, you know, just keep, I feel like for us though, religious in God and having faith in that aspect of it, embody us as a people, as a group, as a culture, and kind of take that to, we're also family oriented and everything that we do as a group, man, we're trying to have everybody buy in. So I'm trying to bring that culture here. You know, I'll be doing the little melee, the patia before the pregame, you know, get the guys going, get the butterflies out, man. And the guys like it, man. So just embodying some of that culture on the team, man, and seeing them going out, man. And
so you became a full-time starter last season and started 14 games, 111 tackles, and 7 sacks. What do you change or refine about your game as a whole to get to that point where you're now starting?
Now that I have that starting role, man, it's just, ain't nothing changed. The plan ain't changed, the script ain't changed for me as well. Just last year was last year for me. This is a new year for me. And as far as my game, what I can improve on, just knowing my part, knowing the defense as much as I'm knowing the offense, and that side of the ball can do. And the more I can know about what they can do, the slower it can get for me. Also being off the ball and, you know, different from being on the line of scrimmage and really reading what's happening from that standpoint. So nothing changed, man. Just the script is script and sticking to it and standing on business. Yeah.
Now, speaking of that, you wearing the green dot on your helmet, which means you're getting your play caller on defense. You are the leader on the defensive side of the ball. How do you take that role on? How do you feel about coaches trusting you with having that job?
Oh, I take that very highly, man. For coaches to trust me and having me on as a green dot, man, I'm trying to have all the guys ready, making sure they all lined up. Over communicate. Sometimes I forget what I be having on, just trying to line everything up, but that comes with it. So, having that leadership role, man, is huge for me, but also like I'm blessed.
Stop that.
Describe the emotion of the best moment of your NFL career so far.
I'll say the Arizona game, that pick six. I always say a prayer at the 30-yard line, but when I picked that ball, it was always on that 30-yard line, probably like 32, in that area. So I picked it, and that week, man, like we were talking about defense, scoring, you know what I mean? Like we need to score on defense, and that was probably like because it was my first pick six ever. And it was on the 30-yard line, and all the boys are there, man, and it was a happy moment for me. Like, that was the first time ever, and I got to go back out there right after, so I was a little bit too excited. But I was like, all right, got to get my mind right. I got to go back out there, but yeah.
So you've made a huge impact in your short career so far. What do you want your legacy, the legacy of Frankie Louisville, to be said once you hang up your cleats, which 10, 15 years down the line, what do you want people to say about Frankie Louisville?
That I was real, that I kept it real with everybody, man. Inside the building and off the field, and knowing that I gave everything I got to the game, and I left something behind where I know, man, a legacy behind, knowing that I stayed true to my word, and also like help in any way I can, as much as I can on and off the field. I might, touch one soul, maybe a dozen souls, but at the end of the day, man, leaving this game knowing that I left it all out there. Shout out to the Tulsa Rugby team as they head into the grand final tomorrow. Man, all the best. Go with God. The whole on your back, win or lose, man. Y'all made us proud, so let's get this win, man. Let's go.
I'm originally born in Toronto. My parents and family are from Jamaica, so I understand having to go through the citizenship process, having to, what that's like. So, for you.
No, man, it took like a whole year, probably a year and a half, trying to get that process, and then taking that test. And I'm thinking it was a multiple choice test. That was my first mistake. Finding out it was all oral test. I failed it once, went the second time and got it done. So, just for those who want to take that citizenship or who want to take that test, man, it's all oral. It was a blessing, man, to have my parents, especially the biggest picture of why I did what I did was just having my parents and also sponsoring them to come out here and being in the States, but also watching me play ball. My pops watched me play last year. My mom never seen me play a snap of football, like almost 6 years in the league professionally. So that's a big reason why I did what I did, and also sponsoring them and coming out here, man. And also, while they're still living, they can see me playing. So yeah,
that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Well, Frankie, man, I appreciate you. I don't have anything else for you, man. And keep pounding.
Keep pounding, man. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Absolutely.
Now, the last time these two teams met, the Carolina Panthers did get the win, a 24-9 win over the Texans. So hopefully that good luck will still hold on for today. So now looking at the Houston Texans, D'Amico Ryans and the Texans are coming in today at 3-3 after getting a win over the Saints headed into the bye week. So they've got a win, some energy, and plenty of rest through the bye week. But with more on what the Texans have planned today, let's check in with Carolina Panthers Spanish radio analyst Antonio Ramos.
Carolina is coming back home for week 8 after the bye week for a very special game with the number 1 pick against the 2nd pick in last year's draft. They will face in Bank of America Stadium, but there are more things to look at this game. Panthers will try to get their first win of the season with offensive coordinator Thomas Brown calling the plays for the first time. Houston's defense, they have been very inconsistent with this new head coach, DeMeco Ryans. They have struggled getting to the quarterback with only 9 sacks in 2023. That's the lowest in the NFL, and with a third down conversion percentage under 45%. Carolina needs to win on first down, on second down, to get more manageable third down situation. Look for Chuba Hubbard to keep running the football like he did against the Miami Dolphins. Offensively, we all know CJ Stroud has worked with limited options, and today without Robert Woods, guys like Nico Collins, Tank Dell will have to step up like they have done all season. Their running game hasn't been quite a factor that they wanted. They just averaged 3.2 yards per carry. That's the 3rd lowest in the NFL. Despite those numbers, CJ Stroud is looking pretty good in their first games as a starter in the NFL. So Panthers, they have to focus on controlling the line of scrimmage in both sides of the football. With Austin Corbett back from an ACL injury, that offensive line is going to improve, and we will see how creative this offense looks with Thomas Brown calling the plays against a secondary that allows 245 yards per game. My prediction, Carolina gets their first win of the season, 27-17.
All right, we're almost set for game time, but we can't get to a win without our keys to the game. So key number 1 is the same as it's been all season. Get the win. A win for Thomas Brown calling plays would be a big lift for the team and announce that new era of play calling here for the Carolina Panthers. Key number 2, run the ball successfully. They have to get the run game going today so they can open up the passing game and exploit what is a very liberal Texans defense when you look at the shorter underneath and impact on the run game today. And then the third key to the game is ball security. Some of these Panthers possible wins have been undone simply because of bad ball security. So hopefully they've worked that out through the bye week. We've seen them practicing a lot with the gauntlet in practice, doing everything possible to try to make sure that these players understand how important ball security is and give them the tools to try to maintain it. So hopefully ball security won't be an issue today. Given that, they should look pretty good against the Texans. It seems like on paper they've got a very good chance at pulling off the win today. And as you know, it's not just about football for the Carolina Panthers. They're very active in the local community, especially at this time of the year as we start to approach the holiday season. The Carolina Panthers recently visited Levine Children's Hospital at Atrium Healthcare Center in Charlotte and provided some great Halloween cheer for some very, very deserving children.
I woke up feeling on top of the world, like nothing's ever gonna bring me down. This feeling got me flying high as a bird. I may never touch the ground.
It feels great whenever you can come out and meet new people and enjoy time with them. Just, quality time is big for me personally, so to be able to spend time with the kids and enjoy painting and putting stickers everywhere I really enjoy it.
It's amazing. I've been to this hospital multiple times, and just being here and being grateful, to hang out with the kids and hang out with some of my teammates and just make their day and just, give them hope. That's the whole, the whole goal, to give them hope.
There's children here, families here that are dealing with, very heavy things. So to be able to come and spend some time and encourage and cheer up those families and those children is super, super impactful.
We are so excited that everybody is here we have a few players to Serper and the Top Cat, but how exciting is this for our patients to be able to come down and just have a party And you know, it's hard being in the hospital, and the smiles that are coming out of here today are nothing short of amazing. And I have met families from over the years that have come to an event like this, and this is what they talk about when they either come back to visit, they come back to see the staff. These are the things the kids definitely remember. They might not remember why they're in the hospital, but they're going to remember that they took a picture with Sir Per. Or, you know, we've got Eddie Pinheiro here with the, I mean, who gets to take a picture with the kicker? Come on. So that's what they remember, and it just brings a sense of family between both communities.
I think my greatest Halloween memory is I just remember being a kid, maybe like 7 years old. I dressed up as a ninja, and I was brave enough to go into a haunted house, and every time something jumped out at me, you know, I felt fearless because I had a little plastic sword. But every time, you know, I charged them and they left me alone. So after that, I gained a little confidence when it came to haunted houses.
I'd say when I was little, it was always about the candy, always about the candy. But as you get older, you know, it gets fun to dress up. I'm a parent now, so I have a son, so it's even more fun to, you know, put him in his outfit and go out and have a good time. But really just the memories with your family and, you know, being in your neighborhood, seeing everybody how they dressed up and just getting to spend time with each other is really awesome.
The bar raising, we keep moving it up. Ain't no surprises here, they knew it was us. Apologies if I was doing
For sure, I'm better than 40, so that's for sure. You know, but nah, the kids are doing really well, and you know, we're just having a lot of fun and just, you know, thanking God we're here. I'm able to be here and, you know, have the opportunity to spend with them and you know, have some time with them.
You have to take Eddie's word for that in order to believe it. And you also have to see the finished product, which we haven't seen. So I think it's a little hasty by Eddie to think that his painting was better than mine.
Oh man, met so many kids. They all have, you know, different stories, and everyone is different. But you know, everyone is encouraging, and just the way that, you know, they light up, just when they see Carolina Panthers. You know, anything Carolina Panthers related makes them excited. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I've taken away, is just how much this team means to the community.
My best Halloween costume, I don't know. I feel like I've probably come pretty weak. I'm going to be a fire hydrant this year. My son's going to be a firefighter, so I think it might be my best work, but I can't take any credit because my wife picked it out.
Now that I'm in a dad role, I think I have some good ones coming up in the next few years, whether it's Daddy Shark or whatever it may be. I know it's coming, so I'm excited about that too.
This year I got a Superman costume that it's ready to go. I think it's top tier, top notch, and I'm excited to bring it out this Halloween for sure.
Now, in case you haven't heard, the Carolina Panthers are adding 2 new names to their Ring of Honor. So where you see all those names back there, there will definitely be 2 very, very well-deserving names up there. Muhsin Muhammad and Julius Peppers will be added to the Ring of Honor today, and they'll also be handing out gifts like these, like this pennant here, to basically announce their induction into the Carolina Panthers Ring of Honor. So lots of great stuff in store here at Bank of America Stadium today as the Carolina Panthers get set to take on the Houston Texans. Well, as you can see, we are ramping up. Everybody's out on the field warming up now. C.J. Stroud out, Bryce Young out, getting warmed up, all set for today's matchup. But here's your list of actives and inactives. One player activated today is safety Matthias Farley. He was activated today. But the Panthers also will have Brian Burns, Frankie Louvu, Kamu Grugier-Hill, Xavier Woods, and Taylor Moulton on board today. So all those guys will be locked and loaded for today's matchup. Also, tackle David Sharp is also active, and Cade Mays and Chandler Zavala are also active as backups today. And on the Houston side, wide receiver Tank Dell will be active, and defensive lineman Hassan Ridgway. QB Case Keenum is inactive, but he will be their emergency quarterback for today. So as we ramp up for this matchup between the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans, we hope you've gotten everything you need to prepare you for today's game, including your popcorn that we told you about earlier. So for the Carolina Pro Football Report on ADSN1.com and 7:30 The Game, I'm Kevin Tolbert from Bank of America Stadium. We'll see you after the game.